Carnival's Come to Town. I wrote that song for my mom within days after she died, and even probably started the day that she did die. What it means to me was it expresses my relationship with my mom. Part of our family has a cabin way, way out in the sticks in Montana, and I was 14. My dad was in Vietnam, and it was just me and my mom and my cousin Peter. And as soon as we got off pavement, my mom pulls over to the side of the road and hands me the keys to the car. I'm like, what? She says, you want to drive? Yeah, you know? So for the whole time that we were there, me and my cousin Peter, we had the car. We got to go anywhere we wanted to, as long as we stayed off the pavement. That was my mom. My mom was the one who would bribe the guy at the carnival to get me on the ride if I wasn't tall enough. I did that for my son, and I remembered that my mom was that sort of person, and it was an inspiration for me to do that for my son. He wanted to go on the roller coaster so bad, and he was just too short, you know. Stood the guy 5, and my son went on the ride. So I had that carnival idea. I had written an ode to my mother years ago, but the first words that came out of my mouth or went onto the paper were, will she ever be so beautiful again, as I looked up and saw her raven hair cascading over her shoulders. And it was about us standing in line to go on that ride, the Whirlybird ride, which was what I called it in my little story. And I remember in the story my mom saying, okay, it's your turn now, but I couldn't take my eyes off her. I was just mesmerized by her beauty. And she really was beautiful to me like that. They're waiting for you, you know. There's a seat waiting for you. It's got your name on it. It's the best seat in the house. It's the best seat in the house. And so when I started thinking I wanted to write a song in tribute to my mother, these things all played together, put together a suit to describe how I felt about my mother, how I felt about being in that place of moving forward through my life without my mother. And the carnival element is a reflection of my general consensus of what life is about. I've never wanted to make a decision that I'm a Christian, I'm a Buddhist, you know, I don't really want to spend any moment of this life trying to figure out what's going to happen to me when I die. Because when I die, I'm going to know exactly what happens. And no matter what I think about it between now and then, it ain't going to change anything. So I'd rather spend my time on this planet enjoying it, growing with it, being in it, doing something other than speculating what's going to happen to me when I'm not here anymore. I wrote a premise for a rock video. Some guys had hired me to do a rock video, a heavy metal band, years and years and years ago. I never made the video. In the video, this person dies and they go up through the scene. They're looking down on the scene of the death, and then they're going through the tunnel of light. And as they're getting down to the end of the tunnel of the light, they start walking. We've heard all these stories, right? I don't think anybody hasn't heard the story about the near-death experiences where they go through the tunnel, right? So in my tunnel, at the end, the person comes to a upright position, and they start hearing music and they start seeing lights, and they get to the end and there's 3 people standing there waiting for them, and they turn around and they look up at the person and say, how was it, how was it? And the person turns around and looks, and they see Earth. They're at an amusement park, and she just got off the ride called Earth, right? So her whole life experience boiled down to a 3-minute ride on a roller coaster. And so when she was dying, when I was writing the song, I was describing me sitting by her bed and having those wonderful moments of her and I alone, being able to connect at a level that we've never been able to connect. So my mom, the angel, she's right here, and I know that's true because it makes my skin crawl, you know. I mean, it's that's enough proof for me, you know. When I feel deeply touched, I feel deeply touched, and so that's where it's all about. It's all about my mama being my angel.
I need you now, before the world goes round.
And my camera's speeding. You cut the light. Martini's up and.
Is this practice run?
Everything's practice run, really. You know.
So did you go to school today, or were you at a shoot today as well?
No, I was at school.
Just taking our place. This is our day. To ride the world, go round.